The Union is not just a word. The Union is a symbol. And we, the youth, should learn a lesson from this situation to unite, to make integration a reality.
The African Union Summit was supposed to be ordinary, until Ibrahim Traoré took the microphone and called the AU useless. His words went viral, shaking leaders and electrifying millions across the continent of Africa. Why did he say it? What truth is he trying to reveal? And how does it change Africa's future? And what better solutions does he have for a united and successful Africa? Let's find that out. The silence in the Grand AU conference hall was the kind that comes only after something completely unexpected. Delegates who moments earlier were checking their phones and whispering to aides now sat frozen, eyes fixed on the young leader from Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traoré wasn't there to deliver the usual soft promises or politically safe remarks. He came with a message that ripped straight through decades of diplomatic tradition. He accused the African Union of abandoning its most fundamental mission, protecting African nations from the forces tearing them apart. His voice didn't tremble, nor did it rise to theatrical anger. It was steady, sharp, and deliberate, the kind of tone that makes listeners lean forward. He named the crises: insurgency spreading across the Sahel, foreign influence dictating African economies, and internal divisions weakening collective power, and then did the unthinkable. He called the AU itself useless. The reaction was instant. Some leaders looked visibly uncomfortable. Others stared at their notes as if pretending to read. A few nodded slightly, acknowledging the truth in his words but unwilling to show support publicly. In one corner, a camera operator zoomed in on Traoré's face, capturing the moment that would soon go viral worldwide. Outside that room, in cities and towns across Africa, the video hit social media like a shockwave. For decades, many Africans have quietly questioned whether the AU truly serves the people or if it exists more as a ceremonial gathering of elites. Traoré had said out loud what so many had whispered for years. It wasn't just the content of his words, it was the way he said them, unapologetically, with a focus on action rather than endless debate. Commentators were quick to react. Some praised him as a bold truth-teller, a new kind of African leader unafraid to confront established power structures. Others criticized him as reckless, arguing that tearing down an institution publicly could weaken Africa's voice on the global stage. But for the millions watching online, his speech felt different. It felt like someone was finally speaking for them. Within hours, hashtags supporting Traoré surged. Radio stations discussed it non-stop, and African diaspora communities from Europe to North America held online forums dissecting his every word. Memes, quotes, and TikTok videos framed him as the voice of Africa's youth and compared him to iconic figures like Thomas Sankara and Kwame Nkrumah. But this speech wasn't just an emotional outburst. Traoré didn't stop at pointing out failure. He hinted at a bigger idea, a vision for Africa's renewal. That is why this moment was more than just trending content. It was a potential turning point in African politics. And so the question arose, what exactly pushed him to deliver such a blunt message? Was it a reflection of personal frustration, or is it something deeper? A warning about an Africa at risk of losing control over its destiny? To understand why Ibrahim Traoré risked breaking diplomatic norms with such a bold statement, you have to look at what has been building beneath the surface, not just in Burkina Faso, but across much of Africa. For years, countries in the Sahel have been locked in a fight for survival against militant groups, armed bandits, and powerful smuggling networks. Despite countless meetings and promises from regional and international bodies, the insecurity has only grown worse. In Burkina Faso, attacks on villages, schools, and security forces have displaced over 2 million people. These aren't distant, abstract statistics. They are real families living in camps, soldiers fighting on minimal budgets, and communities watching their farmland go to waste. For a country that relies heavily on agriculture and rural trade, this has been devastating. And yet, at high-level continental gatherings, solutions often sound like empty slogans rather than real commitments. The African Union was created to unite African nations and present a strong, coordinated front to the world. But in practice, Traoré sees it as slow to react, bogged down by bureaucracy, and overly cautious in moments of crisis.